supporting you in your dog parenting journey. The Dynamic Dog Owner with Debbie Potter.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Dynamic Dog Owner, the podcast designed to support you, the dog parent, in your dog parenting journey. Now, very, very exciting. We talked a little bit earlier in episode 3, by now about 20 episodes ago, that it was the second anniversary of the podcast and the 100th episode. But this week, we are celebrating the 10th year of Potter Paws, so the business behind the podcast, Potter Paws, based in Aylesbury, Buckinghamshire. 10th birthday, 10 years since the business was born. Wow, how is it possibly a decade? It makes me feel really driven old. And it's crazy to think that, 10 years has passed since Potter Paws became an idea. So I thought today's episode, it would actually be really interesting for you guys to maybe know a little bit about where and how we started, where the journey has been and where we are now. Because, it's just nice to get to know us, I suppose, a little bit, isn't it? So I was going to say 10th birthday. Let me start by saying Potter Paws was never intended to be a full-time job to employ people, to train as many people as we do. It was a little idea that happened on a New Year's Day walk. So let's flash back to the 1st of January 2016, so 20 years of 20, my goodness, 10 years ago. This feels like I'm saying 2016. So reason was my youngest daughter had started school, and I'd always kind of said, I'd like to have a few months to kind of collect my thoughts after being a stay-at-home mum for 4 years. It's actually longer than that with the eldest child, too, about 5 years. Let me decide what I want to do. I don't want to rush into just getting a job. Let me have a little think about it. And it came to January. I was like, right, what am I going to do now? I need a job. I need to do something. And we were on our New Year's Day walk that we used to take, when children went young and not teenagers and wanted to come too. And I was chatting about it with my mum and, what am I going to do? And she came up with a little idea. She said, well, why don't you do dog walking? And I was like, yeah. And, I'd always wanted to work with animals. For whatever reason, it had never quite happened. It's because I had a few interview faces and then decided that, it just didn't work out. But it's something that I've always liked animals. I've always loved animals, always had dogs, always lived with dogs. And obviously, as you do, you get stumbled into like working in an office or those kind of things. And I kind of went, but how am I going to fit that around the kids? Obviously, school holidays, etc. And she was like, well, we'll work it out. And I was like, okay. And then I thought about it more and thought, you know what? Why not? Haven't got to employ somewhere, haven't got to worry about being employed. I can take time off when I want to take time off, etc. So I did a little bit of research. In the next 2 weeks, I got insurance, built a website, and officially the business launched on the 18th of January. So 18 days after this little idea. And I got my first client. It was really great. I had a few more clients, and suddenly I was like, wow, I'm doing, I think I was like, wow, I've got 14 dogs I've walked in the week. Amazing. And I started pairing them up and having like 1s and 2s. And then over the next couple of years, we got busier. We got a good reputation. And my husband went part-time in his job and started helping me. My mum helped me. And we went into vans. We were walking probably around 50 to 60 dogs a week in group walks, one-to-ones, etc. But within probably a year, I'd gone, I don't think this is enough for me. It's not enough. I need more. I was really frustrated by only being like one part of someone's life and just being seen as just a dog walker, when I knew that the dog needed more, the people needed more, I could help them. This dog needed this, that dog needed a bit more. And I was like, do you know what? For my own benefit, I think I need to go and do some training or something to just help me learn more about dogs, and, it will make the business better. But I was at this point, we're still dog training, dog walking. So I started going to some courses, and I did a couple of theory courses, and I saw a practical course, 4 days training dogs. I thought, do you know what? that's a really cool idea. I'll book that. And it happened to coincide with one of my dogs being a. So I took him along, he was like 9 or 10 weeks old. We went away for 4 days, which was amazing. It was the first time I'd kind of been away for a good chunk of time from the family as well. And I assumed I was just learning how to teach dogs this stuff. Didn't realise when I turned up, it was actually a course to teach you how to teach other people to train dogs. And I was like, oh shit, this isn't what I planned. This isn't what I expected. I was just expecting to come and basically learn how to teach dogs some fun stuff. Thrown in the deep end, and suddenly I was in front of people, teaching them things, learning how to teach, learning skills, etc. And I thought, oh God, first day I was completely out of my comfort zone. By the 4th day, I was like, that was epic, loved every minute of it. And I said to them, do you think I could do this? And they were like, yeah, of course you can. You passed the course. Yes, of course you can do it. So that was that. The little bit of training that was going to just be me and my dogs having fun ended up being me going, I'm going to train dogs. So that was 9 years ago. And I then went on to learn more, do more, started to do a little bit alongside the dog walking. And gradually, over time, in fact, about over a year, it didn't take long, I was getting more and more dog training clients and doing less and less and less dog walking. And then we were kind of just doing a little bit of it. And we would do it, I was spending days and days and days dog training. And then COVID happened and I'm not going back to dog walking. Don't want to do it anymore. The business is not doing it anymore. And we stopped dog walking altogether. And from then on, so that was 6 years ago, we became fully training and nothing else. So it was, as I call it, a happy accident. I never intended it. I never planned for it to happen. It just kind of became. And suddenly I discovered that actually I was quite good at it, which I didn't expect. But, I realised I really liked it. I liked teaching people. I liked making dogs' lives enjoyable. I liked, getting people to see a better option and people enjoying training their dogs and seeing the results that were obviously going to help them out. So we, during this time, we hired a little bit of land and had a little field that we worked out of. If I remember rightly, it cost me £10 a week to hire this field. And we started doing a little bit more. And I had this dream, you just kind of go, what do I want? I started doing business courses and, how do I grow a business? And one of them was like, well, what do you want? What's your goal? And I said at the time, and this was probably 8 years ago, I said, I want dog training to not just be book, come for 6 weeks and disappear. And that's that. I want more. I want a community. I want people to come and train because they just love training their dogs, not to fix a problem, but to just come and enjoy it and come every week as like part of a thing, just as almost like a hobby, I suppose. Like kids have like drama classes. Let's go to dog training because we do it every week. And it not being about fixing a problem or just getting a puppy and disappearing. I wanted a community, a membership, a family, I suppose. And I soon realised that was not going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be, because that's not the norm, right? Norm is you took a 6-week course, fish back, wash, done. So trying to get other people onto my brainwave or my wavelength didn't happen. It took ages, and I finally had somebody who was like, oh, I want to come and do that. So I had one person who came every single Wednesday evening, every single week. And then I carried on. I was like, right, I've got to do puppy classes then. So started doing puppy classes, like the life skills, the general stuff, just trying to do something. And then I had 2 people that came on the evening. And then went back down to 1 again. And then I had 2 again. Then I had 1 again. And then suddenly, when I had 2, it became 3. And then it became 4. And then it became 5. And then I have a little class that came every single week. And then I was like, wow, it worked. Amazing. I think in that time we actually changed it, because I was like, Wednesday evenings just aren't popular. So we changed it to a Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, come to dog training. And I say we built up to having a full class. We had 6 people, and I was like, amazing. And these people came every single week. And it wasn't are you going to carry on coming? It was just, we're here for the duration. And around that time, obviously, I started then doing other bits and pieces. We used to train on a full morning on a Saturday. And I then had a phone call. And this, I remember it because when was it? It was 6 years ago. I had a phone call from a lady saying, I'm doing dog training qualifications, but I need practical experience. Would you have me? And I was like, ooh. Firstly, what on earth are you going to learn from me? Because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I still felt that I didn't know what I was doing, even though I was obviously running classes and had these people that were coming every week. I was like, yeah, sure, if you want to. Hated it. Felt so awkward. I was like, God, she's going to judge me. She's going to be so much better than me. She probably knows more than I know. But she liked it and she kept coming. And then she went, do you know what? Just doing puppy class. Can I stay an extra hour? Yeah, of course you can. Do you know what? I might as well just stay all morning. All right. And then it was, actually, can I stay all day? Yeah. And it kept happening, kept changing. And then she was like, actually, I was like, do you want a job? And she was like, yeah, okay. And 6 years later, Tash is still with us. You've seen her on the podcast before sometimes. But that's how it started. A little phone call, do you want some help? And Tash is now my right-hand woman. She's been here for 6 years. And I would be lost without her support. But it started from one phone call, which I'm glad I said yes. I remember once upon a time, I can't remember what it was, but someone said to me, I think it was like in a business networking, business mentor group, say yes, figure it out later. And that's something I've sort of lived by. Yeah, I'll do that. And then gone, oh shit, what am I going to do? How am I going to do that? But yeah, I'll say yes and I'll sort it. So I'm really pleased I said yes to that phone call from that nice lady on the phone who had a dog around the same age as mine, because it created, it made it less lonely and someone to share the journey with. And all this time, then we went, right, Saturday morning's full. We've got more people wanting to do this club. Should we open a second one? So then we had a 10 o'clock members group as well. And then it kept growing and it kept growing and it kept growing. And now, 10 years later, so probably 8.5 years since doing that course, maybe 9 years since doing that course and going, I think I might be a dog trainer. We now run, let me add it up in my head quickly, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we have 15 member classes now. That sounds about right. So 15 classes are purely members who come every single week and are part of our family and part of our community. Over 110 people come every week, not to fix a problem, not because it's the done thing, but because they genuinely enjoy training their dogs with us. And I had kind of like moment this festive period, because we have an annual Christmas dinner for our members. And it all comes together. We take over on a quick pub. We have a lovely dinner together. We do some awards. People have made so much progress or overcome certain challenges, or just, whatever reason they stand out as being someone who deserves some recognition. We have an award ceremony. I came home from that evening and I cried the next day. I was literally so overwhelmed by what I created. And that sounds really big-headed, and I don't mean it to be, but it made me so... My dream came true. That dream I had 9 years ago of making dog training something different happened. And now, we've got all these members. They've made my dream a reality. Yes, I've created the idea, but they come every week, which is epic. They are not just clients. We know them. We're with them through all different walks and changes in their life. Some of our members, we've got like 3 members who've been coming for 7.5 years. In that time, we've had births, deaths, marriages, children, loads of things happen. We are part of them and they are part of who we are. And it is amazing. Our team is now 4 trainers, pet bereavement counsellors, or counsellor, first aid instructing. We have office staff. We have virtual assistant that helps me out. We are now so much more than that little idea. And it's hard to think, I think, seeing now the business, obviously, I get overwhelmed by how much there is to do, the responsibility sometimes, and the pressure to keep going. And then events like our Christmas evening, make me just go, God, this is why I do it. This is what I created. This is my dream, and it's become a reality. And it's really, I don't know what the word is, but it's really overwhelmingly wonderful. And I thought you might just like to know where we came from and what we've done. A lot of people would say, start the conversation the other day, so well, how did you do that through COVID? We spent the whole of COVID lockdown on Zoom training, live classes, sending recordings to people. We kept going, and actually, probably shouldn't say this, but COVID helped my business hugely. Because it kept going, we were quite go out, which so many companies were, because they just didn't have the resources or the inspiration, I suppose. But it kind of, in a way, makes me think of Huffington, because you see this, like, you have this idea, I'll get a puppy, and you don't realise where it's going to be. You have the dream of, I want this perfect dog, I can do that, X, Y, Z, come over with me, and do that, start the family. And you get a puppy and you realise, that's not going to happen. And you have to like evolve and grow and put in all this effort. And then eventually you get what you dreamt of. It might take 2 years, it might take 3 years, it might take a long time. But you have your dream of this perfect family dog. Or, the dog that's right for you, as I say, perfect, what is perfect, but the dog that's right for you. And you look back and smile. And that's currently how I'm feeling about my little Potter Paws baby. My Potter Paws baby has grown, and it's amazing that we have reached 10 whole years of doing this. And I think about obviously the business. Personally, I've had a lot of challenges in the last 10 years. Kept going through every single one. Don't know how some days. Sometimes it's been really hard juggling being a mum and running a business that was never supposed to be a business in the first place, but we've kept going. To put I'd share and celebrate with you where we've been, where we came from, and where we're going. What's next for the next 10 years. Obviously, we're going to carry on doing everything that we currently do, because why wouldn't we? It works and we love it. But one of our big things we want to carry on supporting people with is pet bereavement, because that's something that's quite new. Counselling for pet bereavement, and growing our online training is, again, an area. So if you haven't checked it out, the hub is there. That's us. That's where we've been. You know a little bit about where we've come, and you can celebrate being 10 years old with us. Have a wonderful week, and I'll catch up with you really soon.
If you love listening to the podcast, why not check out the Potter Paw Academy for practical dog training advice and how-to videos. The hub is broken down into sections, and hundreds of pre-recorded videos are there for you to start watching whenever you choose. You can watch them back as many times as you like. You also get to talk to other community members and discuss your training, and benefit from live Q&As with myself, where you can get your questions answered. Why not make use of our 3-day free trial, where you can access all of the content on the hub absolutely free for 3 days. The link is in the description below, so do check that out. And I can't wait to see you in the hub. Thank you for listening to The Dynamic Dog Owner with me, Debbie Potter. See you next time.